This is in from Dan. He says he wanted to explain to his neighbors the corruption with the Wall Street crooks leasing their gold. He understands somebody pays them to lease it, like a car dealer gets paid to lease a car to a consumer. But he is unclear of how someone can sell gold if they are only holding a lease on the physical gold. Could you please explain this scheme to a layman?
Well, first of all, we're going to go backwards. You start at the end and you want to go backwards. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to start at the beginning. Let's say, hypothetically, the Bank of Portugal needs money fast, and their budget is all out of whack, and they call up J.P. Morgan Chase Bullion Department in New York City, and they say, this is the Minister of Finance for Portugal. We have an account with you. Here's the number. And, oh, yes, Mr. So-and-so. We would like to sell a ton of gold. Okay. What rates are you offering us? Now, what happens when J.P. Morgan Chase leases gold from someone like the Bank of Portugal, they either pay a premium, which is a small interest rate, or they might even pay nothing, and the seller might pay them a little bit to get rid of their gold for them. So they come to an agreement, and they lease the gold to J.P. Morgan Chase. And let's say that the terms are for 90 days. And let's say that the interest rate for 90 days was 1/8 of 1% that Morgan has to pay to do the deal. But on the other hand, Morgan's going to set the price, so they'll make up the 1/8 point by incorporating it into the price at which they will sell lease the gold from Portugal. Now, Morgan immediately goes into the market and sells the ton of gold. So it doesn't exist anymore. Morgan doesn't have it, but owes it to the Bank of Portugal. Next step. The 90 days are up. And Morgan says, how do you want to handle this to the Bank of Portugal? And they say, well, why don't you give us dollars? Morgan says, fine. Morgan sends them the dollars, wires them a note for X amount of dollars, and the transaction's completed. Now this is where it gets kinky, and that's the word for it, kinky. The Portuguese, in essence, have really sold the gold because they get paid back in dollars. But under the International Monetary Fund rules, because they can go back to Morgan and ask for the gold back and give them dollars and bring it back again. So the thinking of the IMF is, you really still own it, when in fact they don't. And you can carry it on your books as still being there. And that's why central banks like the Bank of Portugal do what they do. It's a big scam. But they have sold the gold. And they do have the dollars. But yet they're carrying it on the books, the gold, as still being there. And it's not. And this has been going on for a long time. And I was on a program with another expert, and he argued with me. I said, go check it out. I said, I've been talking about it for years. Where have you been? In darkness somewhere? And most people, if they don't specialize in this area, they don't have a clue to what I'm talking about. Because the knowledge is so deep.
Well, I hear